Hello, and welcome to Bipolar Thoughts. My name is Steven, and I'll be your host. Today's episode, I just wanted to say it will sound a little bit more scripted. I am going to go off script, but because of the nature of this particular series, I wanted it to feel a little bit more scripted, a little bit more, informational. I guess is the word I'm looking for. This episode is the connection between bipolar disorder and intelligence. I wanted to cover this because I always thought of myself as an intelligent person, but since I've gotten my diagnosis of bipolar and then ADHD on top of that, plus some other things, it's just made me start to question, am I as smart as I think I am? And then now I'm in college, and I'm way older than all my peers, so I'm and I'm sitting in class and they're answering all these questions, and I'm like, I feel dumb most of the time. And it's just, I don't know, it causes insecurities, which is something I talked about in one of my past episodes. And I did want this episode to be a little bit different, again, because it is going to be scripted, but not scripted, I guess. I will still be kind of throwing in my little anecdotes here and there. But I really wanted this to be something that's not just me rambling. This episode's going to be made up of research from several different resources. And if you want to know more information, just a quick search on of bipolar disorder on Google, Bing, whatever, will bring you tons of results. I would strongly suggest looking for something with a .org ending, because those tend to be a little bit more, not just informational, but they seem to be a little bit more accurate on the information that they're presenting. Such as the Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins University or the Cleveland Clinic. Any of those are great resources to find out a lot of information. Just stay away from WebMD. That is garbage. It's going to tell you that you're going to die even if you get a hangnail. It's ridiculous. That being said, because of all this information, I'm going to have to break this down into several different episodes. If I didn't, this would be an hour and a half long episode, and nobody wants to hear me ramble that fucking long. So I just wanted to, my next thing I wanted to say, a little housekeeping, I guess. My next thing I wanted to say is that if I offend you cussing, I apologize. It's just kind of how I talk. Which here is the first stereotype that we're going to get into, that intelligence is there's a lack of intelligence if you use cuss words, and it's actually quite the opposite. Cuss words are a sign of intelligence. So the more you cuss, the smarter you are. So yeah, fuck that. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump right on in. I've talked about what bipolar is before a little bit, but I wanted to talk about the 3 different types of bipolar. So bipolar 1 disorder is, I have bipolar 1 disorder, and so people with BPD1 or BPD1, BPD is by people with BD1. BPD is borderline personality disorder. That's how they generally determine the two, BD and BPD. So people with BD1 experience manic episodes. They can last up to 7 days or longer, and are severe enough can be severe enough to for immediate hospitalization. Depressive episodes may also occur, typically lasting about 2 weeks. And again, all this is dependent on the person. You can have one way or the other. And then they can also go through mixed episodes, which to me are the fucking worst. Your entire body feels like it's on fire. It hurts to move, but you feel like you can't sit still. And I would rather one or the other over both at the same time. So bipolar 2 disorder, this involves a milder manic episode known as hypomania, which are not as severe as a full-blown manic episode, but can still cause significant disruptions. People with bipolar 2 experience depressive episodes similar to those seen in bipolar 1. And then there's the third one that nobody really talks about very much because it's relatively newer. But this is the one that people think about whenever they hear someone say bipolar. When you hear somebody say, "Oh, well, that shit was bipolar," this is what they're talking about. It's the cyclomythic, if I said that right, cyclothymic disorder, which involves recurrent periods of hypomania and mild depression, but the symptoms are less severe and do not meet the criteria for full-blown mania or major depressive episodes. So they're the ones that are, up 1 minute, down for the next, and then up 1 minute and down, and then up and down all day. They can be, several different moods in one day, and not mixed phases. They can go from one mood to another and then back to another all throughout the day. And that to me that's got to be the worst, honestly, because you can't, can you imagine, not being able to regulate that at all? Just constantly up and down, up and down, up and down. At least with me, it's I'm up, and now I'm down. And then I'm even, and then I'm down. And then I'm up. I don't know. It's crazy to me where somebody's up, down, up, down, up, down. Man, I couldn't do it. Which kind of brings me into some of the stereotypes a little bit of some of the ones I wanted to cover when it comes to intelligence and bipolar disorder. There are many that are surrounding bipolar disorder and intelligence and can be harmful and misleading. It's important to recognize that these stereotypes do not represent the entire reality of the condition or the diverse experiences of individuals with bipolar disorder. Now, some of these common stereotypes are so for the first one, genius or creative genius. So this goes into people like Beethoven, Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent van Gogh. There was a few authors that were like that. I think Mark Twain might have been one. There's quite a few. If you want to get even more recent, Kanye just came out and said he has it. But not all of us have it. Not all of us. We may have some sort of creativity, and we may have some sort of creativity in a smaller capacity, but not all of us are fucking rock stars, man. Not all of us are fucking, whatever the hell else everybody has. Not all of us are just doing that. Not all of us are born into a life that we are able to do something like that. Not all of us have, because of other parts of our bipolar, we can't get to that level as much. We may be creative as fuck, and we may be the next Kanye, but we can't reach that level because there's something else going on in our brain that's not letting us, it's not allowing us to have the determination, to have the motivation to finally get and take that next step. So that can be I think that's another stereotype, that just we're not all, creative fucking geniuses. This notion is, again, it's based on historical examples of famous artists, writers, and musicians who had the condition. Not everyone in this condition possesses extraordinary intelligence or creativity. Unpredictable intelligence. Another stereotype assumes that intelligence levels in individuals with bipolar disorder fluctuate constantly with their mood swings. This portrayal oversimplifies the complexities of the condition and ignores the stable cognitive abilities that individuals may have during their stable phases. So basically, if you're not stable, your moods can go all over the fucking place, which is not wrong. That's not a wrong stereotype. It's just not that we're, I don't know. I don't know. It's just that our emotions are not regulated. I would say, at least for me, my emotions are not regulated in that same on that same scale. For me, I can't say that, you know, my intelligence fluctuates depending on my mood. Like, I'm not going to be smarter because I'm calm, cool, and collected. I'm not going to be dumber because I'm angry. I might make rash decisions because I'm angry, but that has nothing to do with whether I'm intelligent or not. You know, I can make rash decisions when I'm, you know, calm, cool, and collected. You know, when I'm in a, when I'm in a depressive phase, I can make great decisions. I can make negative decisions. Same thing with the manic decision. In manic, you know, I can make great decisions or really fucking terrible ones. You know, it really just kind of depends on me and the mood and the situation. So to sit there and say that, you know, unpredictable intelligence, and it can vary, you know, depending on your mood, your intelligence, how smart you are, is just kind of ignorant to me. And that's the kind of thing. This is what I want to break down. This is the kind of stuff that I want to get out there to people to understand. Like, this is not, when you read this shit on the internet, this is not the hardcore fact, like the hardcore truth. It may be the truth for a certain amount of people, a majority of people, a number of people, but it's not necessarily true for you. Some of it might be, but not all of it. Take what you need and leave the rest, you know. And I don't know. So the next one is the lack of intelligence during depressive episodes. This stereotype suggests that individuals with bipolar disorder experience a sharp decline in intelligence during depressive modes. While cognitive impairments can occur during depressive phase, it is incorrect to assume that intelligence is permanently diminished during these times. So basically, they're saying it is going to go down. You are going to get dumb. It just won't last until once you get out of your depression, you'll be smart again. Just as long as you're depressed, you're dumb, is essentially what they're saying there. Like, again, my intelligence is not going to go down because I'm sad. Like, it's just not going to happen. So again, I don't know how you're measuring intelligence in the way that you're saying that my intelligence has gone down in a depressive state. Now, I'm sure there's some kind of scientific backing, and some kind of scientific, person out there is going to come to me and be like, no, you're fucking dumb, this is why, and great, that's awesome. But until then, this is just kind of what I'm thinking and kind of how I'm feeling. Because then it leads into, like, the inability to lead successful lives. There's a misconception that individuals with bipolar are unable to lead successful, productive lives, or maintain professional careers due to their condition. In reality, with proper treatment and support, many people with bipolar disorder lead fulfilling and successful lives. Now, that I agree with. See, we can have productive lives. We can live outside these boxes that people put us in, and not limit ourselves because of these walls that people have built around us, and medication is one of those ways to tear down those walls, because then you can see the sunlight. Once you can see the sunlight, then you can start to see the other shit around you, and it makes you start wanting to break through all the walls, and eventually you're outside the fucking castle, So, overemphasis on manic productivity. Now some stereotypes portray mania as a state of heightened productivity and creativity. While some individuals may experience increased energy and focus during manic or hypomanic episodes, the associated risks and potential negative consequences should not be overlooked. Wait, what? This is saying basically the opposite, that during heightened productivity and creativity, because your intelligence goes up. Like, so when you're depressed, you go dumb, and you get smarter when you're manic. Well, then why the fuck wouldn't we want to be manic? Way more productive. And if that's what you're saying, that, like, that's a stereotype, then yeah, it is a stereotype, because it's fucking true. Because I like to get shit done. I'm a doer, and when I'm manic, I get more shit done. Like, yes, I'm productive. I might start a whole bunch of shit and not all of it get finished at once, but eventually it all gets done. Now, there are still some half-assed unfinished things that I have not finished, but that's neither here nor there. For the most part, most of the shit that I start, I do end up finishing. So, on that one. Associating intelligence with mania. So here it is. Here's the root of the core right there. Here it is. Some may mistakenly believe that intelligence or creative abilities of individuals with bipolar disorder are a direct result of their manic or hypomanic states. This oversimplification disregards the interplay of multiple factors, including genetics, upbringing, and environment, in shaping the individual's intelligence. Now, it's crucial to remember that bipolar disorder is a complex mental health condition, and intelligence varies among individuals, just like in the general population. Sometimes it can perpetuate stigma and misconceptions, making it essential to approach discussions about bipolar disorder with intelligence, with intelligence and empathy, understanding, and a commitment to dispelling myths. So I'm going to kind of end this right here, just because this is, if I have a whole nother section written and ready to go, but we're already almost 20 minutes in, so I'm just going to cut this one, and then we'll pick up on the next one and do that in the next episode. But I do want to thank all of you for listening, and I hope you still subscribe. I do have, I believe, a subscription set up. I'm trying to set up a Patreon. I'm just not sure how to get it worked into Spotify just yet. So once I figure that out, I'll set that up. The reason I'm bringing this up is because none of the money is going to go to me. It's going to go straight to a charity of our choice. Every month, I'll put out a poll and enlist 4 or 5, or I'll just put out a questionnaire and see who wants to, what charities you guys want to donate to, and then we'll poll and vote on which one we actually send it to, and then we'll send it out there to them. And so I've also decided that if you donate more than $5, if anything you donate is great. I'm going to appreciate any of it, and I guarantee you the charities are going to be more grateful. But anybody that donates over $5 is going to get a shout out at the beginning of the next episode, and then on top of that, I think eventually what I'm going to do is start doing bonus episodes, and anybody that donates $5 is going to get access to those bonus episodes. So I'm not sure exactly how that's all going to work out, but that's the plan. So I hope everything works out for you, and just remember that if you need help and you need somebody to talk to, please seek it out, and remember, you don't have to sit in the dark alone.